Like, I'm going to say it, and I'm just going to be real, man. Martin Luther King had it wrong, bro. Listen what I'm telling you. I don't want to discredit this man. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm not here to discredit Martin Luther King. There's no way I can. This brother will live forever. But he had it wrong. Violence is the way. Violence has always been the way.
It's always been the way.
Always been the way. He will stop because of violence.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real life street stars. Know what time it is.
Because I was a juvenile.
Yeah. Mama came and got you?
Mama came and got me, that was it. The next thing is, I hear about my friend such and such, he somebody. Oh, he did? Okay, let me get a. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me get a. 2 years later, I'm arrested for attempted capital.
Were you trying to get, was it trying to get some money? Like what was it?
Robbing people, just pure ignorance. Kids, that's why when we look at people will go into the corner store with the camera, rob and man for all $75 behind the thing.
All $75.
Do you know what I'm saying?
At that time, was there anybody that could have saved you, do you think?
Nobody could save me. It's like with the kids now. We stuck in a cycle of poverty, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to leave the environment and you have to be surrounded by people that are building. Yeah, 90% of your learning is environment.
Anybody around you went to college?
Now, to be honest with you, man, I had a father who was messed up early in life, got his life together, and he graduated college at 36.
Yeah.
Right? He was the only example I could have, but he had started a new life. You understand what I'm saying? So I was the old life. I was the first boy with the other baby mama.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Living in the projects. And he had moved on to Houston, and he did what he needed to do to get his life right. So later in life, we can help each other.
So what was your reason for robbing? Was it a girl you liked? Was it just to be cool with the other dudes, to say that you did it and got away with it?
I'm gonna tell you what everybody reason, the majority of everybody reason. Outside of poverty, people have guns. Guns give you this false sense of power. Listen to what I'm telling you. We got a temple capital murder and capital murder, right? Because we had a gun.
Yeah.
That was our only reason. If you took the gun out the situation, nobody would have died. But we had a gun, so we felt like we could put it in people's face and they'll give us their money.
So you didn't have the inclination that you were gonna shoot, just the fact that you had it.
No, I had the inclination that I was gonna bust a nigga in his ass. Like, yeah.
So that means you were ready to kill.
Ready to kill because I was ignorant enough to have a gun. The gun gave me the power. Now, I didn't have the inclinations of the repercussions. I didn't care about that. We're talking about being a kid. Yeah. If you give a kid a gun right now, do you think he have any reasoning?
Especially not with
I mean, not gonna lie. It's so easy to point and shoot that thing.
No, but the reasoning is so out the door. You give a kid a gun today, guess what he gonna do? Get his phone and want somebody to record him with that motherfucker. Yeah. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, hey, turn that camera on. Like, it gives you this false sense of power and control that leads to destruction.
Yeah, it's just so easy to take a life.
Take a life or just get in trouble. You could paralyze somebody.
Yeah.
It's a false sense of power. That's what happened there. I wasn't intelligent enough to be like, I'm finna rob somebody so I could live happily ever after.
Do you feel like kids today are on the same type of mindset, that false sense of power?
No doubt about it. Has nothing changed, bro. Why? Because we all stuck in poverty. Yeah, the poverty it's not racism. It's the structure of poverty that's destroying us.
So we had a conversation between us the other day saying something that where, killing and using guns is actually a cool thing to do. These kids today make it look like it's a cool thing versus the power part of it.
Okay, the killing and violence part of it is, I don't know how to explain it, man, but it's been, psychologically, it's been proven. Wherever there is poverty, there is killing, right? It has nothing proximity, it has nothing to do with color. It has everything to do with environment, right? And in this environment, you can shoot your way to the top.
That's true.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Listen what I'm telling you. This is the mob. this is it. You could shoot your way out your situation.
Yeah.
With that gun in your hand. Like, I'm gonna say it, and I'm just gonna be real, man. Martin Luther King had it wrong, bro. Then listen what I'm telling you. I don't want to discredit this man. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm not here to discredit Martin Luther King. There's no way I can. This brother will live forever. But he had it wrong. Violence is the way. Violence has always been the way.
It's always been the way.
Always been the way. He will stop because of violence.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the ability to kill somebody. I'm saying the ability to protect yourself from being killed. Violence stops somebody from coming across that line.
Yeah.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. In order to halt something.
To halt something.
You want to halt it right there.
Yeah, you gotta protect your woman. You gotta do this, you gotta do that. Violence has always been the answer.
Yeah.
The greatest, if I had to go back and stop any technology, right? Like now you're doing AI and all that stuff, right? The gun was technology, bro.
Okay, so
that was technology in that time.
You good with swords and
I'm
knives
good with swords because
bow and arrows.
Because the gun enabled the white man to cross into territories and control them that he couldn't control before.
That's facts. He brought that magic over.
He brought that stick with fire.
Yeah, that stick
and now
with
listen
fire.
what I'm saying. Before this, you had to be an organized group of people. You know how long it would travel to walk to fucking Houston, to fight niggas in Houston with a whole group and feed them and get down there and
Motivate
fight.
them to even do it.
Motivate them to even do it.
Yeah.
So
Unknown territory?
no unknown territory. It kept people in their pocket until that gun came about.
Hey, man, you speaking.
You hear what I'm saying? And I'm implementing that to say violence is the way. Violence has always been the way. But it has to be controlled in a manner in which to where when you on top, you gotta have mercy for the people that ain't. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is America dropping the atomic bomb twice. Right? And making sure nobody else do it.
Nigga.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oppenheimer.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That's violence is always the way. Violence is the answer. Rest in peace to Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm just speaking facts.
You know, is it fucked up that that's the answer though?
Nah, what I'm saying is this: you can't put it back in the box. Exactly. Yeah. The first. Because I 100% agree. Yeah. No, so you ask me, is it wrong? Yeah. It's not wrong. That's the laws. Yeah. Just like it's love, it's hate. Like it's a duality.
Like a lion can't talk a deer to give me you. You gotta hunt them motherfucker down to eat.
You gotta hunt it down and eat. Like
you gotta kill it.
Violence is the way. It always showed us the way. It has to be controlled and it has to be used properly once attained, or you will self-destruct.
That's real.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It was a real threat that we would kill off everybody on the planet from nuclear power.
It was a real
threat. So it has to be controlled and it has to be managed. But we cannot be naive to be like violence is not the way. Stay dangerous.
So tell us in regards to, you got a situation where it's you got a murder charge.
Murder charge.
Walk us through as far as your trial. Did you get a court appointed? How old were you? And what were your thoughts on the judge and the prosecutor?
Listen, I was a kid. That shit didn't matter. Listen what I'm telling you. These kids with switches don't give a damn. They never even heard a proctor or who. They can't even what?
They can't even spell the word.
Yeah, they can't even spell a word, man. I was 16. My brother was 15. Now, before we did this interview, my brother was on the phone. This happened in 1994. Listen what I'm telling you. He went to jail. He was 15, I was 16, right? He hasn't been home since. Listen what I'm telling you.
Perspective.
I have a brother that hasn't been home since because of these murders. It's like, well, why I'm home? Well, my brother actually pulled the trigger and he confessed to pulling the trigger when we was in juvenile. So they got 2 kids. They just kept the one that did it and let me go, right? I was back a year later to get an 8-year sentence. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's still in there.
For that initial crime.
From that initial crime. Never had a chance to get out or come home. He just called wishing me luck on my interview. See, that's the realness of what we dealing with.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move it. Hey.